I have been kind of inspired to design a couple more patterns. I also signed up for some Christmas markets today and I bought quite a lot of yarn. All of the plushies that I will be packing up. I wanted to talk to you about a little thing that happened. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and I run a small business called loopingteddys. And welcome back to another week in the studio. I am currently between two markets, but I wanted to check in between the two pre-Easter markets and kind of take you guys along for a week in the studio, some market prep. I have a lot of open orders. I finally started moving a lot of my things into my studio. So I finally have all of my market supplies in here. I have a huge yarn order just on my side here and I want to put it in my shelf. And also we had daylight savings last weekend, so I can finally film after work. It's currently almost 7:30 and it's still light out, so that is a huge improvement for a part-time business owner like me. I can actually use the evening hours to also take you guys along again and kind of share a lot more what I'm doing in my small business with you again. So I'm super glad to have all of this back. I took a big bag of supplies with me over here again. I'm starting to take over all of my yarn. I have the plan to still leave one skein of every single color back at home because I still crochet quite a lot at home as well, like in the evening hours or just like in the mornings or something like that. When I'm not over here, I still crochet quite a lot still at home, so I still want to have some yarn and some supplies back there. But the big bulk of supplies is coming over here, starting with this big yarn order. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you what I have been working on this week so far and kind of talk a little bit about all of my open orders right now, because we have 4 open orders right now. So let me get my bag of whips out and we will talk about them. Okay, so first of all, as I said, I'm starting to take over all of my yarn. So I just filled up this bag all the way to the top with some skeins of yarn where I still have more at home. So I can easily take them over here. We will put it back in the shelf in just a little bit. But the rest of this bag is all works in progresses and finished plushies I have been working on this week, and my supplies, because I have a favorite crochet hook and I will take that back and forth for all of my work because I just really like that hook and I don't want to change that up a lot. I also have my scissors in here for that same reason. But let me get into the plushies I have already finished up this week first. So first of all, I already finished up a little pink turtle with like a darker beige body, and I had this exact same turtle at my last week's market and it sold, so I wanted to remake that and have it back at my market this weekend again. So this one is already finished and I have finished up quite a lot of my mushroom pops. So here is one in pink and these pop up and down like that. I usually like to have a lot of mini plushies at my markets because they tend to sell the best for me, and I couldn't finish up quite a lot before my first market, so I'm still working on some of the works in progresses for those. So I have these finished up. I have this one finished up. This one is actually for an order. We have another mushroom. The only other finished plushie that I have in here is something that I was trying out. I had an idea for another pattern. I recently designed the first pattern in a long time again, which was this little no-sew sheep. And by the time you're watching this video, this pattern should already be released and out on my Etsy. So I have been kind of inspired to design a couple more patterns. I have had a lot of ideas for patterns in my head for a long time. And this week I had a little bit of time, so I started to work on one of the patterns I had in my head for a while, but I'm not sure if I really like the way that this turned out. So I had an idea for a popping flower. So this is what it looks like now. We have this cutesy little flower with 5 petals, and then this yellow centerpiece can actually pop out like this and flop back into the flower. But I'm not entirely sure if I really like the way that this turned out, or if it like is a little too goofy. I'm not sure how I feel about this, and if I should keep working on this pattern or if I should just scrap that and work on the other ideas I've had for a while. So yeah, that is the other plushie that I was working on this week. And apart from that, we have a lot of plushie parts in here and some more yarn. Actually, let me roll that up. I have a couple more mushroom caps in here that I want to finish up this week. So this one is the second mushroom to one of my orders. So this one I definitely need to finish up this week because this one will get picked up at my next market. It was an order for a light blue and a little pink mushroom. So I will need to finish those up and take them to my market this weekend. And as I said before, I have a couple of open orders. So this one will be the first one that I'm finishing up. I also have 2 Etsy orders open. So I had my Easter shop update last week, and while I didn't get any sales on my launch day, I actually got 2 Easter themed sales later on. So I will have to work on those. Actually, one of them I can just pull out of my finished inventory, and one of them I will have to work on. So one of the orders is for an Easter pop. So I have these little bunnies that are in carrots and they kind of pop out of the carrot. So I sold one of those in cream. And then the other order I have in my bin is for a brown chicken and a little bee. So I will need to pull that out and pack that. But I will do that once I have the other, like the Easter pop, finished as well. So I can send both of those orders out at the same time. And then I have another order, which is a custom order for a bunny snuggler. So I will have to make that one up as well this week and finish that one. It will be in this brown color and white. So those will be the colors of the snuggler that was ordered. But for now, I think that I will actually start unpacking my yarn order and start filling up my new yarn shelf. One more thing, I also signed up for some Christmas markets today. So that feels kind of insane because April just started. So I feel like I'm pretty early, but also a lot of the market applications are only open until end of April. So I'm actually kind of late for Christmas markets, which kind of feels crazy, but we will see if I get into any of those that I signed up for. I actually did a crazy thing and signed up for a week-long Christmas market. So we will see how that goes. I'm super excited to see if I get into any of those, but I guess if I find out this week, it will be in this video. So we will see all about that. But let's unpack the yarn order and start filling up my yarn shelf. Okay, so my yarn supplier that I order almost all of my yarn from finally went back in stock with a lot of the colors I had been waiting on. So I kind of went crazy and I bought quite a lot of yarn. As you can probably tell, this is actually kind of heavy. So we will take a look inside of that big box and start putting that away into my new yarn shelf. I'm super excited. Okay, so let's get into all of these colors. First of all, I'm super excited that this color finally went back in stock. This is one of my most used colors. This is this lilac color, and I think that I bought just these 5 skeins of that. I also bought 5 skeins of white because you can never have too much white yarn. I bought 5 skeins of this bright orange yarn. I use a lot of this for mushroom pops, but also like mini items in general, brontosauruses, all kinds of things. Then we have 5 skeins of this really nice turquoise color. I really like this one. I bought 5 skeins of this medium blue color. I use this mostly for baby whales, but also mini items in general, all types of plushies. This is just a very nice blue color. In the same theme of that, I bought one skein of this blue. I've never bought this one before. It kind of feels like very similar to this one. Let me actually take one out and compare it. So it's like very similar to this one. This one is slightly darker. This is the one that I'm used to getting, and this is the new one. I think I actually might like this one slightly better. It's like more pastel, more like kind of like creamy looking. So I really like this one. I'm glad I ordered one of those skeins to find out that I actually like this one. I think like sometimes it's actually kind of hard to tell what colors will look like in real life when you order them online, but I don't really have any stores near me that sell any kind of chenille yarn, so I need to get everything online. So my only option is to order one skein of new colors and find out if I actually like them. Then we also have 5 skeins of this really nice green. I really like this color. I use this for brontosaurus mostly, but just in general, it's like a very like warm green color. That is just awesome for a lot of projects. Let's keep with the whole boxes of yarn. So I actually bought 10 skeins of this gray because I had almost run out of this color. This was used up in the winter time by a ton of penguins. So I'm glad that I have quite a lot of this back in stock. Then we also have some black. I'm not sure why this is in like a different packaging. Like the plastic around it is kind of different than the other plastic. I'm not sure what that is about. But I bought 5 more skeins of black just to stock up on some neutrals. And then finally we have 5 skeins in this light blue. And then some more where I didn't get full like 5 skeins of. I have some of these still in stock, but I wanted to stock up on some of these colors, like a medium purple, dark purple, another turquoise. This one is a little darker, light orange that I use mostly for cats, a sand color, my classic turtle beige, and then some brown, which I use for bears, cats, all kinds of different like more natural looking animals. And then I bought 2 skeins of new colors that they had available. So I bought this, I believe it was called mustard or something like that. So this is like a very like darker yellow, actually like a mustard color, probably the. And this is like a forest green or moss green, I'm not sure what they called it. But this is another new color and I actually really like it now that I ordered it. I wasn't so sure if I was going to like this one. The image looked kind of dull online, but I'm actually kind of glad I got this. I believe this will be like a nice turtle color or something like that. So we will see all about that. But let's get everything stored away in my shelves and we will see how full they actually are after this first yarn order. Okay, so this is the shelf where I want to store all of the yarn in. So actually 2 shelves, one down here and one up here. And currently I just have one shelf in here where I can just like kind of separate some colors out. So we will see if I actually fill all of this top shelf up. I'm not sure, I don't think so. I think we can stay on this top shelf and not start on the bottom shelf with this yarn order, but we will see. Hi friends, it's now the next day, so it's now a Thursday afternoon, which means I have finished my work week for this week. I just got back to the studio and I brought over 2 more big bags of yarn and I just stored them in my shelf as you just saw, and I think that it's coming along pretty nicely. The upper half of the shelf is almost full, and actually taking out all of my yarn back at home and bringing it over here and kind of going through everything, I'm actually realizing that I'm running low on a couple of colors that I didn't have in mind for my first yarn order that I just placed. So I'm actually thinking that while my supplier is pretty stocked right now, I might place another kind of big order for yarn, which sounds kind of crazy, I know, but I think that that might be a good idea because right now I can get all of the colors that I need, or mostly all of them. A couple of them are still not back in stock, but most of them I can get right now. So I think that I will actually, now that I have all of my yarn displayed pretty nicely, I have a good overview of what else I might need. So I might place another yarn order probably tonight or something like that. And yeah, stock up on the colors that I missed the first time around. Also, tonight I am closing my very first, or not very first, but very first in a long time tester crawl. I think I currently have around 14 applications for that, so I will have to actually choose a couple of testers. Yeah, so I have 15 applications right now, which I'm super grateful for. I didn't expect so many people to apply, so I'm super excited about that. I will have to figure out which 4 or 5 testers I will choose for this pattern tonight, and I will add them into a little like group chat on Instagram and then send them the pattern tonight, and I can't wait for their feedback. It feels like very exciting. I've not done that in a very long time. I only released one pattern in my whole crochet career, and that was at the very beginning, and that was a free pattern, which this little sheep will not be. So it's a very new thing for me to have this type of tester call out on my page and doing this whole thing. Also, before I get into what I've been working on since I last checked in with you and before we're packing up my orders, I wanted to talk to you about a little thing that happened. So remember how I said yesterday that I had applied to some Christmas markets? And yeah, what can I say? One of them already replied. It was the week-long Christmas market that I applied to and they accepted me. So I am in a week on Christmas market. They actually asked if I wanted to do 2 more days, so the 2 days right before Christmas, if I wanted to add that to my week, but I'm not entirely sure if I will have enough vacation days or enough support from friends and family who might be able to cover for me for a day. So I will need to check in with them and decide if I actually want to do 7 or even 9 days of that Christmas market. But the 7 days are secure now, so that feels kind of insane and very like exciting. I've never done a long market like that, so that will be a very new experience coming in December. I also didn't expect to hear from them so soon. They seemed very excited and very positive about my products. So I am super excited that I have the first Christmas market secured. But now I wanted to get into my bag that I brought over here because I was working on some plushies. So let me get into those. Okay, so first of all, one of my open Etsy orders was for this little Easter pop. This is like a cream colored little bunny, and he sits in a carrot like this, and you can also pull him out like that. So he kind of pops in and out of that carrot, and he's very cute. So this is one of the Etsy orders completed. And then I had 2 of those at my last market, one in this color and one in white, and both of those sold. So when I was making him up last night, I actually also completed 2 more of those. So another cream little bunny and a white little bunny. So these are the other 2 that I completed last night, just so I can have some of these at my markets, because I feel like these will only sell before Easter. So I didn't want to overmake them, so I just made 2 more. I'm hoping that they will sell at this market because the next market that is coming up this weekend is the last one before Easter for me. So I'm hoping that these will sell there. But I actually wanted to make them because I really like this pattern and you can't really make it all year round. So I wanted to take the opportunity that it is the time to work on this pattern right now. and make a couple more of them. So all of these little guys are now finished. And then today, during my lunch break, I was finishing up some more of my whips. I felt super motivated to start a new project today, but I stayed consistent and I was actually finishing up some of my works in progress. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. But I finished up all of the works in progresses for these little mushrooms that I had currently like in the works. So I finished up 4 of them, 2 in this red, 1 in this pink, which is for my order, and then 1 in this bright green. So here they all are. And now that means that I actually have 3 out of my 4 orders complete, and both of the orders that I will have to send out, which came from Etsy, are now complete. So I actually wanted to pack them up right now. And I think this little order with like the other popping mushroom that is somewhere on the shelf, I will also kind of pack up because it is a pickup order. So the person who ordered will be picking it up at my market this weekend. But still, I kind of want to like pack it up in a cute way so it feels like a little more special than just 2 little mushrooms in a bag. So we will figure out a way to pack that one up as well. So that is the goal for right now. Okay, so here are all of the plushies that I will be packing up right now. So I will need to tag all of them. Actually, 2 of those I had at my market last weekend, so they're already tagged, but this one has a price on it, so I will remove this tag because for my Etsy orders I like to have tags without prices on them, just in case that these orders are a gift for somebody. So we will add a new tag for this little bee. And these are all new plushies, so they've never been tagged before. So I will tag all of them as well. And now I'm thinking that I might actually do a little like short form content of plushies that were ordered this week or something like that. So we will do that quickly and then return to packing these up. Okay, so the reel has been filmed and now I will be starting out by packing this little guy up because he can fit into this smaller box. So we're just building that one up first. So now what I like to do is I write my customer's name and have like a little thank you note and a little QR code that they can scan to leave me a review, because those are kind of important on Etsy and that makes it very easy for the customer to leave one. So I will actually need to look up the name of my customer. And I like to put this one in first because it fits in there perfectly. And now we actually have some very cute spring colored tissue paper to wrap these orders up. So I think that the little like green tissue paper might fit here perfectly. I've been like kind of having fun color coordinating them, which I know is not necessary, but it's kind of fun just to do it anyways. So we will fold that nicely and insert it here. Now the plushie comes next. So we will make sure that he sits in there nicely, no fuzzies, nothing on him. And then I've actually started to use my pegboard for my stickers and business cards already. So let me show that to you. Okay, so I like to use little like freebie stickers of like just different flowers and stuff like that. And I have stored them like on my big pegboard, which I'm currently not like really using. I have a couple notes up here. And then I have my business cards in this little container because they fit in here perfectly. So we will also include a business card and just pick some stickers, I think pink and then possibly like green as well. So we will pick some stickers. And then finally, what I like to add on the outside is just a little sticker with my logo. I printed these with my thermal printer a while ago. I just printed a ton of them and I just have them on hand just so that the package is like slightly branded. What I also like to do is just tape the sides closed just so that the package doesn't open on accident or something like that. So that's what I like to do as well. And as I'm getting more orders, I'm actually thinking about getting some like water activated tape, because first of all, I really like the look of that, and also like I think it's more environmentally friendly, which we do like. So I've been thinking about it. It's a higher cost than just this like regular tape, but I think at this point, like I've been getting kind of consistent orders, so I've been thinking about actually changing that up and getting some of that tape pretty soon. But this is basically what the order now looks like before I print the shipping label and add that on here. For now, this is the only package that will be in this type of box, so I can't really mix them up. But if I have more than one package that is in the same box, I kind of write not the customer's name because I kind of get confused with that, but I write the plushies that are in here just like up on the top here where the shipping label will be on top of later on. So I just write what's in there if I have more than one of the same package for my orders. But for now, this is the only one in this box. And yeah, this is basically how I pack my orders. For this one, I will be needing a bigger box, so I have brought over my bigger boxes as well. But I think that I might film this one for Instagram. I've been trying to be more active on there and just post a little more consistent. So I think that I might film that. And for these two, as they're getting picked up at my market, I brought over some of these boxes that I bought kind of a long time ago. I originally bought them for my coasters that I was making for like home decor items, but I never ended up like using those, like these boxes. So I still have a lot of those left over, and I think that these might look kind of nice as a packaging for the little mushrooms. I think that these are like originally for cupcakes, but I think that this will be like the perfect size. I'm doing a really bad job at showing you, but this will be like a pretty good size with like a little window on the top so my customer can see the items that they're picking up. So I will build this box right now. And now I think that I will just add some tissue paper into this box, and then the two little mushrooms in here as well. And now these are actually kind of hard to build, so that's why I ended up never using them, because they're actually kind of difficult to put up. But this is what it looks like in the end, and I think that that is really cute. I might put a sticker with my logo on the front here. And I think that is a very cute pickup order. It looks very like professional and yeah, like very like custom and like a little gift. So I really like the way that this turned out. And this order I will now be filming for some short form content. Okay friends, it's now Saturday and I'm back at the studio. I didn't get the chance to check in with you yesterday since I was out of town running errands for most of the day, but I still stayed pretty productive. So I brought over another big bag of plushies I have finished up since I last spoke to you. A couple of them we still have to do a couple of finishing touches, but most of them are actually finished. So I was working on my works in progresses mostly last night, but also like today already. It's almost 4:30 already, and I am just now stepping into the studio because the weather is just so nice today. So I was spending most of the day on my balcony just enjoying the sun and crocheting a little bit. So that is probably why I was pretty productive since I last spoke to you. But let's get into what's in my bag and what we need to finish up still for the market that is actually tomorrow at this point. So let's get into that. Okay, so first of all, I finished up my bunny with overalls. I had the overalls still from the first bunny that I made because it actually sold but with different colored overalls. So now he's finished again. And this time I ended up making a different snout for him. So just a little like pink T-shaped snout, and I think I like this one actually better than the one I did for the first bunny. So he is finished and he will be coming with me to my market tomorrow. I finally finished up quite a lot of turtles that I had been working on for a couple of weeks actually, because they were just in my whip pile for a long time. So first of all, I finished up these two little twinsies. These two are exactly the same color-wise. So we have a mint turquoise body and a beige shell. And I think that these look really cute. I started making this color combination last year for my winter markets and they were pretty popular. So I wanted to bring them back for this year. So these two turtles I finished up, and then I actually finished up even more turtles. So we have two more right here. And we have one with a beige body and a light blue shell and a classic natural looking turtle. So beige body and this darker green shell. So two more of those finished, and I had almost all of the parts for them made except for this shell. So this one I made last night and I finished all of them up yesterday. And then actually yesterday I was pretty busy, as I said before, and I was working on some more plushies just while we were watching videos at night, and I actually made quite a lot of them. So I made 7 baby octopi. You cannot really see all 7 of them while I'm holding them like this, but basically my little mini octopi, I made 7 of them. I already added the eyes, as you can tell, and the only thing that we need to do for them now is stuff them and close them up. But I made a couple of colors that I sold pretty well last weekend. So I made 3 in this red. I made 2 in this bright pink. I can't really tell that it's an octopus like this. 2 in this color. An orange one, like a very bright orange. And a light blue one. So these we will need to finish up right now because I want to take them to my market tomorrow. And then this morning I was working on some more plushies, as I said before, and I'm currently having my testers still work on my No So Little Sheep pattern. So I was inspired to just make some more of those, or actually make one more of those right now, because I got some feedback and I wanted to try out some of the feedback that I got for this pattern. So I was working on this little, it's like a very like fuzzy yarn, this very like fuzzy sheep. I really like the way that this turned out, and I wish I could make all of my plushies in this fuzzy yarn, but as you know, I have to use some tested yarn that applies to like CE regulations, so I can't really use this like fuzzy yarn, but I really like it, and I thought since this is my own pattern, I wanted to keep one of them anyways, so I made one in this super cute fuzzy yarn, and I will keep him forever, so he will get a space on my shelf. And then finally, I was working on my final order that's currently open. So I started working on the bunny snuggler that was ordered, and I have already finished up his little head, and this is what it looks like. I did embroidered eyes, and for the first time I actually think they turned out pretty well. I'm actually kind of liking them. So the head is already finished, and then I have also started to work on the legs and the body. So right now it's very like funny looking because the legs are just comically long, but they eventually will be knotted and look kind of like this. But yeah, I'm currently working on the body for that one, but I think that I will actually take the yarn and work on this project some more tomorrow at the market, because at this point I can basically make all of the parts for him tomorrow without needing to take any stuffing or anything. So I can work on it tomorrow at the market and hopefully finish it up tomorrow, that he can be picked up next week. So that is the goal for tomorrow. But for now, I'm actually thinking that I will need to finish up all of the baby octopi that I have been working on. And then I also have my cats that I was working on at the last market last weekend, and I still haven't finished them. We still just need to stuff them and close them up. And then I actually need to tag all of the plushies that I made this week. I have the rest of them up here on my shelf, so I actually made quite a lot this week. Then tonight, if I have time, I actually have a couple of projects I would really like to work on tonight. I finally got some more hardware for my wristlets, so I want to finish up all of the strings for wristlets that I currently have at home. So I will need to do that because I actually sold out of a couple of colors at last weekend's market, so I wanted to restock those. And then I also wanted to restock my mini whales a little bit, because I currently only have like 7 or 8 of them in my inventory, and they're all in like blue shades. So I wanted to make at least a couple of them in pink and in purple, and possibly turquoise as well, because I currently don't have any of them, and they tend to sell pretty well, and 7 or 8 baby whales is nowhere near enough for what I would like to bring to a market. So those are the 2 projects I want to work on tonight. But now let's finish up the octos and the cats.
Bad traffic ain't a waste of time. You were there to hold my hand, but I've had it with the 405 since you said I'd missed my last chance. But I know that you've been asking about me. If I tried though to get you back, would you let me? It might take some time to change your mind, but maybe everything we can make it right. This take me back in your eyes, blinking at me like a caution light. I wonder if you see it. I don't really need a single other reason to make you mine. It might take some time to change your mind. I know. I wish I never let you go. If I took you for a top-down drive, just you and me.
Okay, so I have now finished all 7 of the octos and all 7 of the little kitties. And we actually also just loaded up the car for tomorrow's market, because right now it's still light out and it is supposed to rain tonight. So we just wanted to get that over with, and it's actually pretty hot right now. So if I look kind of red or sweaty, that is why. But I will now be tagging all of the plushies that I made this week, and it's quite a lot. I'm so glad that you came along and joined me for this week of market prep. We also got a couple of orders out this week, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye!